explain dyslexia as an unexpected reading failure. So parents, you will see a young one and they're bright enough, maybe they can do really good puzzles, they're usually good at those kind of things, art is good, and then they go to school and very soon the teacher will come and say, he's not learning those sounds. Or you might have a child who's fine if the dyslexia is not as bad. They're fine in infant 1 and infant 2 because they're learning words like cat and mat and so on. But when they get standard 1 and they start having words like through and thought and thorough and all those crazy English words, it starts falling apart. Sometimes the parents say, that teacher isn't good because my kid was doing really well in infant 1 and 2 now, you know, but it's just that it's beginning to fall apart.
Okay. And those are signs that one should look for, the parent and the teacher, to know how early to deal with it.
Yes.
Okay. So how could parents and teachers recognize dyslexia? Would be my next question. How as a parent, you know that your child not a slow learner?
All right. So for parents, really, once your child is struggling, you really need to start thinking about what's going on. And first of all, let's get eyes and hearing tested and rule that out as a problem. I mean, I came last in class for a long time until I discovered I was short-sighted.
I still come last in class.
But yes, so you do that first. And then, you know, if you're still worried, contact us at the Dyslexia Association, where you Google us and you'll find us, and we can I'll put you in touch with a teacher in your area. We have trained over 800 teachers all over Trinidad and Tobago, so they can do a screening and then they will advise whether they think our program will work. But get in there early. We always say it's never too late, but earlier is better.
It's better, correct.
Yes, if you have a 7-year-old who's reading at a 5-year-old level, you have 2 years to catch up. If you bring them to us when they're sitting 11 plus,
correct,
and they're reading at a 7-year-old level, we now have 5 years to catch up. So get in there early, but honestly, it's never too late.
And then too, guys, it's not something to be embarrassed at. If your child have dyslexia, you don't be embarrassed to look for help. You know, get your help. So as you said, they could Google you and you will put them in touch with whoever it is to help the child with the dyslexia.
That's right. I wanted to say a bit about embarrassment.
Yes.
You know, we always say all the best people are dyslexic, and if you look at the last century, all those movers and shakers, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, in the old days, Albert Einstein, they're all dyslexics, and dyslexics tend to, not all dyslexics, but they seem to think out of the box.
Right.
They come up with novel solutions for things. So it can be an attribute.
You're right.
But you have to get these kids through the reading process, because if they don't reading and they're not spelling, they're really going to struggle.
Yeah. Again, guys, if you see, don't take it for granted that your child's slow. Oh, no, that is... Because sometimes parents will say, no, that's normal, they will grow out of that. No, it's not. That's not. Call or look up, or as you said, Google, and you're Googling Dyslexia Association. That's what it is? I can give the contact now or later on. Oh, you can give it now? Okay, well, we are 281-READ. So it's 281-7323. But I know our listeners don't always have pen and paper with them. So honestly, go into Google, put in dyslexia, it's DYS, Dyslexia Trinidad, and we'll come up. Yeah, so that's what you'll do. You'll put the parents in touch with teachers who could assist the children with this dyslexia. That's right, and we train teachers. And you train teachers? We run training courses. How does that happen? Does the teachers come to you, or does the school send the teachers? Usually the teachers come to us. Okay. Occasionally a school will send teachers, but usually the teachers come to us, and we run the course in the last 3 weeks in July every year. So, and we usually don't have to advertise. Courses get filled really quickly, so you need to get hold of us early. And this is Dyslexia Month. Yes. What you have planned? Well, we are doing an awareness program where we've contacted all our teachers, and many of them have joined us, and they're going to be showing a video called Reading is Not a Natural Skill, and we've sent them handouts, brochures, little rulers for the kids that say, are you having trouble reading or spelling? Contact us, and we put the telephone number so they can give those to the children who are struggling in class, and hopefully the children will pass that on to their parents. Yes. So
that's a big thing we're doing now, awareness, and of course coming on to stations like Vibe and being able to talk about dyslexia.
And you're having this 5K run.
Well, we're not having it though, I must tell you, it's UE Spec. And they're wonderful. They contacted us and told us that they're going to focus on dyslexia this month.
Oh, very cool.
So it's wonderful. This year, their annual international half marathon and 5K. So to register on that, you have to go on to UE site. And then it'll come on if you sort of just type in UE on your search browser.
And as we say again, guys, to get in touch with the association, Google Dyslexia Association, correct?
Yes.
And you give that number, give it again?
I'm going to give it again. 281-7323.
2817. Could I get a pen, please, J-Wise? Let me put this here so I could remember. It's 281
73 23. And that actually spells read, 7323.
It's read.
Yes.
I nearly got a heart attack, I thought she said weed. And that's spelled weed. I said hello. So guys,
you would ask me about teachers.
Yes.
Do you have time to talk about teachers?
Yes.
So for teachers, I call these children your discrepancy children, and I spell it with DYS.
Yeah.
Because these are children, they have their hands in the air, they know the answers, they're full of information, they're curious. Oh my, but don't ask them to write it down. That is such a struggle. Very often they're autistic. Not always.
Yeah.
Very often they are autistic. So when you see that discrepancy, these children, and people think they're not trying hard because everybody's written out all their notes and they've reached line 3.
Right.
And the tongue is sticking out and the writing looks like a spider crawl across a page, and they have to stay in at break to finish. Please don't keep your children in at break. They need their break more than the rest of the children. And you see those children, then you can talk to the parents and get them to contact us. Right. In the office, we also have people who can talk to the parents and feed that out a little bit.
Yeah, don't put your child through that. But I'm glad you said so the teachers can see where that problem is, because you're right. They keep us in class during lunch or during the break to do what we have to do because we didn't finish in time, and we feel bad that we didn't finish in time when everybody else did. So we feel less than the guys that did. You know what I mean? So let's not do that, guys. Teachers, if you've seen that happen, talk to the parents and tell the parents, get in touch with the Dyslexia Association, and let's see if that's a problem.
Yeah, we have a question for you, Ms. Kelshall. Are there any training programs for parents of dyslexic children who may be interested in learning how to help their kids at home?
Oh my, no, we really should do that. Years ago, we did a really nice one, and I'm going to put that on the agenda and think about that, yes.
Right, so the answer is that we don't have that yet. She's going to deal with that, and she would let us know, and we'll tell you.
But also, go into Google, and you'll find all kinds of ways. How can parents help? How can I help my dyslexic child? And there's wonderful tips there. So don't wait for us.
All right. So it's something they will look into, but the information is there. Just do a Google search, and you could start the process right there. That question came from Cathryn.
Can I add something? Sorry.
Yes.
Because one of the things you can really do for your children is take away that blame. Children get a lot of blame for not learning to read. It's not their fault if they're not learning to read. Boy, when you're going to learn to read, you're hard or what? You have to try harder.
No, worse again, I call them stupid.
But if they're not learning to read, who's supposed to teach them to read? They're not supposed to teach themselves.
True.
Correct.
We are supposed to teach them to read, and we need all the expertise we can. And you cannot expect the class teacher who's done their normal training to know how to do it. You really need to contact us.
All right.
That's where it is. And being dyslexia, if it is that the parent don't see it and the teacher doesn't see it, that child their reaction to that could be violent. They become bullies. Because there's no other way for them.
Yeah, well, they may lash out, with the frustration. They may lash out in different ways. Be disruptive, and then it may turn into.
Let's not let that happen, guys. Call Dyslexia Association.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Can a child reach secondary school before being diagnosed with dyslexia?
They can. It's a really big struggle. you know, really and truly want to get in there in primary school. But there are some children, one of the things dyslexia teaches children is how to work hard. And I tell you, I taught a little girl, she was 8 when she came to me. She was one of a twin, and her brother wasn't dyslexic. And she's now at Howard University, but she got her help when she was in primary school. So, but even when she got to secondary school, and I said, how did you do it? She did 10 subjects at GCSE. She said, I worked hard. Mm-hmm. So part of it is, you have to work hard if you're dyslexic, especially in primary school.
But let me ask you something, Cathryn. So what you all do is help them read properly or help them deal with the dyslexia?
We help them read properly. As soon as they start reading properly, honestly, it takes 3 sessions, and they start beginning to read, and they begin to feel good about themselves. Mm-hmm. And of course, we talk about dyslexia as we talk about that English is really hard. English is one of the hardest languages to learn.
Yes, I've heard so.
And it's, so we tell them all of this. We say, gosh, this English is really hard. Never mind, look at this. These combination of letters say this sound. Mm-hmm. And then we work it through with them. So they begin to feel good about themselves.
So it's something that you could, if you're dyslexia, you could be taught and not be dyslexia again.
No, that's a great question.
Yes.
You will always be dyslexic. And dyslexics have a lot of difficulty with sequencing. I think I'm slightly dyslexic now. I struggle through school now that I know it, because I can't even remember my car number. I have to do a thing. My car number is 6 to 355, so I had to go, okay, 6 and 3 is 9, 5 and 5 is 10, 6 to 355. I have to do that kind of thing. I can't remember it. I couldn't remember my home telephone number the other day. How often do you phone your home telephone number?
Correct.
But I have it on my phone.
Correct.
So sequencing, you always have difficulty with sequencing, and adult dyslexics, sometimes you see they mispronounce words because getting those syllables in the right sequence, you know, instead of hospital, hostiple, or something like that. Just slight mispronunciations. You hear it still even with remediated adult dyslexics.
I feel I need to come and see Cathryn. Because a couple of things she called there, I go through. Yeah.
Yes, but we'll always go through that. But once you feel good about yourself, once you're successful, once you know that, we always tell them the best people are dyslexic, stick with us. And you were talking about bullying. You were saying you were doing bullying.
That was the discussion today. Like, how do we deal with bullying?
Mm-hmm. Don't ask me how to deal with bullying. I know a good technique to do with bullying. It was on a wonderful video. And this teacher said, if you have a child who's being bullied in the class, make sure the children know that he's your guy, he's your friend, he's your pal. So you're going through the playground and you see some kids, they're circling around this little one, and you know it's bullying. You don't say anything to the children. You just go up and you say, hey, Johnny, I have something to give you. Come see me after break. And all of a sudden they know, oh, miss, oh, sir, they like him.
Yeah.
You know, and they begin to look at this child differently.
All right.
So make sure, teachers, that child is special to you and that the children know it's special.
Right. So that helps the person that's been bullied.
Yes.
But it doesn't help the bullier.
Well, I'm not an expert in bullying.
Well, this is what we're saying. So I think that problem begins at home, and we need to work with it. And so there's no simple answer to how to deal with bullying. Mm-hmm. There just isn't. But Cathryn, I want to thank you so much for coming in. The information was on point. And I think a lot of people, guys, that number again is 281-7323 if you think that your child is dyslexia.
Dyslexic. Just failing.
Yeah.
Failing reading.
Google. If you can't remember the number, Google Dyslexia Association, and Cathryn will help you all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thanks again, Cathryn, for being here.
Thank you, George.
All right. Yeah. So a huge thank you to our guest today, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank her for sharing this info with us. Remember, guys, that this month is Dyslexia Month, and the Dyslexia Association wants you to keep informed on and recognize the signs of dyslexia. All right.